UFO. So for today's tutorial, I'm gonna go through my track called LOGUE. Story goes with this track was I just started buying a bunch of old jungle records again, and collecting records again and old jungle shit. And I was experimenting with one being sober, two isolation tanks. And it was like the fucking trippiest thing ever. And so then I started to imagine all like the favorite parts of all the records that I was getting in, and I was like, oh shit. And I was like, all right. So every time a record would come in the mail, I would record each part of the record that I thought was like a crazy good loop. And then I came up with like this list of these crazy loops of like random ass jungle records. But then on top of that, I started to buy like ambient records and hip hop records and like all these really interesting like things that I grew up with, and treating those records as like my fundamentals to like samples, but then utilizing today's technology and twisting them. Anyway, I'm gonna show you step by step the track, and then we're gonna go through like little tricks and little things that I used in Ableton to get like weird sounds. And I even started using like analog synthesizers, and you know, we'll go through that too. So let's get to it. Yeah, so with this track, basically, I was just going through record stores and found this, and but I go through records and I just listen for like the coolest part. Scattering, splattering, suckers have a chattering, leave them all scarred and marked, cause I'm battering. Me and my BACK, we don't play, we just crush and rush and verbally spray. I'm playing. That part's sick. They took out the beat. All there is a little bass, and I know already how this sample is gonna sound when I fuck it up in Ableton. So I kind of start there, then I record it on Ableton. Suckers have a chattering, leave them all scarred and marked, cause I'm battering. Me and my BACK, we don't play, we just crush and rush and verbally spray. I'm playing the mic. And then I go to Ableton and start fucking around with it. Here we have the sample. Suckers have a chattering, leave them all scarred and marked, cause I'm back. So we're at 123. I think I ended up going to 174, but since I'm working with the vocal, 174, half of that is 87. So I went to 87. But it sucker sound like sucker. And I think my part was right here. We just crush and rush and verbally spray. Then bring up the volume. We just get it to be as loud as possible. And then clean up the transients so they're all like locking in mode. We just crush. And right now I'm in complex. I just start off at complex just to kind of like not hear it all crapola. Crapola. Is that like an 80s word? Crapola? we just crush and rush and verbally spray. Alright, so I think it went, I come up basically with like a loop or like a vibe. So it's like, oh, it's something's playing like boom. We just crush and rush and verbally spray. We just crush and rush and verbally. And so right there, I remember like needed to kind of create this like fill. So I cut it. Cut it, nigga. Double D. Da, 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 da. Look at that. Already getting all. I like that. So that's basically like the vibe, right? We just crush and rush and verbally spray. We just crush and rush and and then go here. Apple Deep. 1, 2, 3. I'll probably go really long because what we're gonna do is I'm gonna re-record on another channel. So
we just crush and rush and verbally spray. We just crush and rush and
okay, so then highlight the whole thing. Control on Ableton. Consolidate in the nation. Consolidating. They're like dating. They marry. All right. So basically, the trick is, I go down here. I forget what the part is, but I call it like the what is it? The algorithm of the audio, but I could be wrong. But that's what I say to sound intelligent. I say that to myself. I really don't explain, but now I'm just explaining it, so I might as well just explain it. So I experiment with all these, and I've gotten some really cool shit. I learned this from Bro Safari. Bro Safari, thank you very much.
Make what sounds cool to you.
So he just goes in here, texture. And the trick is, twist it up, fuck with the transpose. See how I mess with the grain size and the flux, and it just literally just starts to almost, I think, it starts to like inject FM into it in this coolest kind of way that like, but anyway, I'll show you right now like the process of it. So I just vibe with it. I like play with it and I pretend that like, I don't know, I'm like Mr. Twisto Man. Right, and then just fuck with the pitch, mess with the grain size, fuck around with the flux. And the trick is I do everything like every like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Switch 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, like I go to a new parameter every 8. So when I then bounce it every 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I have like all these parts that are kind of like blending into each other. You know, like a fucking raver fucking dance kind of thing. Right, so let's just go in the process of recording this. So go to audio 2, like let's say right under it, and exit in, choose audio 1, banger,
the original sound teacher,
and then hit record on it, boom. But then highlight the audio and just start off like regular, like, because you got to think about it as like a performance, like it's gonna start. The cool thing about this is that there's bass under it, and when you fuck with the grain size, it does weird shit to the bass where it almost sounds like it's like a.
We are whirling through space.
All right, so let's record it. 1, 2, 3. Record it, and then mess around with the transpose, the grain size, and the flux on warp. Get it? Got it.
Listen. We just crush
regular.
And rush and verbally spray.
We just crush and rush and verbally spray. We just crush and rush and
Satanic man.
we just crush and rush.
Okay, so that's a pretty good take, and then what I do after that is bounce that whole section, and I basically have like an audio file of tons of crazy ass shit, and let's just bounce it right now so you know how to do it, and so we're all on point here. So what I do is go to the channel that you just recorded that on, hit solo, go to export video, export it to 24, dither options, triangular because I am UFO, kid sensation, twist, Twist 1.1, whatever, name it, fucking DJ Dyko Mic, DJ Twisty, DJ Twisted, Twisted Old Bitch, whatever. Enter. And boom, there we go. Then I'm going to show you how all that came about in the track Logue. So let's go to that track and then I'll show you, you can hear like how I'm like flexing that shit in there.
We just crush and rush and verbally spray. We just crush and rush and we just crush and rush and verbally spray. We just crush and rush and crush and rush and we just crush and rush and verbally spray. We just crush and rush and we just crush and rush and verbally spray. We just crush and rush and we just crush and rush and verbally spray. We just crush and.
So that synth sound right here, this old thing, I think it's from, what synthesizer is it? It's from the KORG Monologue. It's this thing right here. This is what made that sound. I think Aphex Twin like helped design some shit in it. I still haven't like fucked around with like the tuning in it or the toning or the fucking whatever the but I did get some really cool sounds and I'm gonna make that available in my next sample pack. I think I'll call it Sample Pack Crack 1. It'll be like a bunch of twisted up sounds. So this is what the original file right here. And I took off, what did I do? Yeah, I think I just put everything in a group. Oh, look at that. Didn't even fuck with the bass. It's like full throttle. Anyway, so that's what I did with that one. That's how it got started. I mean, it was between this and hearing that and being like, oh, I would just think that, and then somehow like, I don't know, being in a fucking isolation tank and sober for 9 fucking months. And the trick also is I wrote all these tracks not on like speakers, like real speakers. I wrote them literally on the laptop speakers. And this is the secret about the laptop speakers, that
what?
You can literally hear a bad mix start to come out of these little speakers because they could only take so much sound. They could only take like so much, like even like the minute you start to put too many fucking sounds, like in these, when in big speakers, you could always keep adding shit and it just always sounds kind of decent. But in these poor little speakers, they literally start to give out. And so I found that the secret to really like getting started on like really raw ideas is just use these little small speakers. Here we go.
We just crush and rush and verbally spray. We just crush and rush and we just crush and rush and verbally spray. We just crush and rush and crush and rush and we just crush and.
Each channel, like the upper channel has bass, as you can see, and the lower channel doesn't have bass because it's mixing in with what? This KORG bass already. Right, so I'm, you know, and the thing is, when you twist these audio files, they sound so rad. You could see it's just in a huge rig. It's just like because the bass is getting all FM'd and. But anyway, back to the track.
We just crush and rush and verbally spray. We just crush and rush and we just crush and rush and verbally spray. We just crush and rush and crush and rush and we just crush and rush and verbally spray. We just crush and rush and we just crush and rush and verbally spray. We just crush and rush and
So you could see, remember how we were doing all those really crazy twist ups? This is the, you know, like basically all that audio work. This is it right here. It just sounds like this. Right? And what I did was just, you know, grab little parts that I thought sounded cool. And this, what's this right here? That's a Gay Woo. My boy Gay Woo. And then I'm fucking basically now playing back and forth, having a conversation with like this. This is another sound that was made in the KORG. I wonder what this one sounds like. Oh, let's listen to it. Let's just hear the whole thing. Wonder what it does. That was me trying to be hella electro clash. Anyway, you don't know what the fuck that is. And then I think I rebounced. I wonder what this is. Same sound. Looks like it was. And then right there, I think what I was doing is f***ing around with the two different oscillators and like pitching one oscillator. Pitching one oscillator into one that was already, like, let's say I was pitching one of the oscillators that was at 24, or I went from 12 from one of the oscillators into 24 as both oscillators are playing at the same time. And then, you know, you got this, you got the little fucking, the weirdo builder. Right there, it's like, beer. Ooh, your boy got like super ringed up. All right, let's go with the beats. This right here is an old school. A lot of these,
What?
So this is the beat right here. Right. And then and you can see I was cutting out a ooh shit, and then I basically I consolidated it here, and then I pitched it down, and then I consolidated it again so the computer would stop crashing on me. And I think, what the hell is this? Ooh, I added like a trap kick, bro. You see, I'm out here mixing and blending genres. And then there was another kick. Oh, that's my Gay Woo, my boy Gay Woo in the house. Yeah, my boy. Yeah, he's hella fucked up off of Swizzerp. And then that's fucking old Twisted Man, and then we get them all like. And you can see where like I kind of went back to the original electro clash idea, which is and it's not even on beat. Did I even like, oh yeah, I tried to, but it sounds so pathetic. But I think under context it just makes sense. Yeah, it's good enough, whatever. And right now all the high end right now is taking over the actual transient, what's happening here. So it's like, you know, the voice is really what's like keeping the rhythm going. So, hey, I got lucky.
We just crush and rush and verbally spray. We just crush and rush and we just crush and rush and verbally spray. We just crush and rush and rush and rush and we just crush and rush and verbally spray. We just crush.
Oh yeah, boy, I'm keeping the trap real, right? Yeah, trap. It's so funny. Every time I hear that snare coming out of a car, my first in it, that or hi-hats to go, or hear it click, click. I think I always scream in the air, trap. No matter where I'm at in the street, I just trap. Anything modern day is trap. Sorry, like we are in the trap. If you're in the modern day city, you're fucked.
Check it out, check it out, check it out. Boom. Just imagine.
And so then you see how like I snuck in the snare here because I was gonna bring it right back, knowing that I was gonna break it down because that's UFO shit. I love to break shit down. I love to have different tempos. I've been doing that since that's what gave me my edge in the whole American drum and bass scene, is that I was implementing like hip hop beats and I was trying to be like I'm a hip hop dude,
Jay.
but I was like, I wanted to like relate to like my crew and who I was, and I was like, all right, let's just bring in like the slow thing. And now it's like a fucking part of the, you know, it's part of the psyche of electronic music. You gotta just flip the beat, you know, hashtag switch.
Check it out, boom. Just imagine. Check it out, I had crazy vision. Check it out.
So the crazy vision. So I'm basically telling a story of like.
Check it out, boom. Just imagine. Check it out, I had crazy vision. Check it out, boom. Just imagine if you rock. Check it out. Check it out, boom.
Damn.
See, that's, I go back to that like crazy take that I was taking on, or that crazy whatever audio twisty thing. Oh, and for the bass, yeah, the bass. Let me explain the bass. The bass is this really cool contact plugin called Hit Me Up, boom, Sub-Zero 808. Holy shit, what a great plugin. You guys gotta get it. You guys gotta get it. Forget who set it up. Look up Sub-Zero 808. It's got the sickest bass lines in it.
Hey.
You can fuck around with the glide and get really trappy, but
Focus.
it's just a great way to start, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you just want to play shit, and I'm kind of more of like slamming things on the keyboard because I'm old school and I should be using audio. But basically what I did, let's see here. I think I just basically put a compressor on the contact bass. I EQ'd it a little. I cut off the high end. It was kind of getting in the way of some stuff. Who knows why. And then I sidechained the bass to the kick, which is right here. And here's the kick. Who knows where that kick came from? OS. And I just, here's the kick and the bass.
Okay.
The kick in the bass. So ghetto. I know I should be probably like notching out like wherever the kick was, but it just sounded good and it kind of sounded dirty, and I wasn't really trying to go for perfection. I just wanted to go for fucking ass. So that's pretty much for this track, Logue. You know, I don't know. I think I'm gonna put together a sample pack of a bunch of twisted up sounds that then you guys can go over and like use and twist up. I'll call it Sample Pack Crack 1. Anyway, thanks for fucking coming to the channel and, you know, listening to my ass teach you all my weird ways of being UFO and whatever. Anyway, be authentic, stay hungry, stay young, stay stupid as fuck, and make the dumbest shit ever. Anyway, guys, bye. Love you.
Yeah.